Good morning, everybody. Today, I am going to discuss about recent trends in digital image processing organized by the Department of Commerce, Sri Krishna Swami College for Women webinar on 25 2020. I am Dr. P.L. Chitra, Professor, Department of Computer Science, University of Madras, Gindi campus. I am working on digital image processing researchers in various dimensions for the past 2 decades. In this webinar, I am happy to share with you my experience based on digital image processing. The outcome of this webinar should be, all of you should be familiar about digital image processing, and I wish all the participants comfortably to work with image processing easily. I welcome all the participants for this webinar on recent trends in digital image processing. One picture is worth more than 10,000 words. It's true. Do you agree with me? Yes. Everybody, I believe, agree with me. So this is a picture. The picture says, the world is yours to explore. Here, we can easily understand that it's a color image. It is a greenery image along with waterfalls, with water bonds. Our eye acts like a camera. It consists of rods and cones. Our rods are responsible for dimness of light and our cones are responsible for colors. When we perceive this image, we can usually visualize green color, white, water, every blue color, everything. And it will send that senses to our brains. When our brain will senses, based on that, we can visualize this is an image, natural image. So we are all blessed with our own camera, that is human eye. Let us be happy with that. So one picture is worth more than 10,000 words. This book, Digital Image Processing, referencing Gonzalez and Richard E. Woodsar, and Machine Vision, Automated Visual Inspection and Robotic Vision are Bibles for digital image processing people. And we have the latest edition, March 2020, we have the 4th edition available with us. So when we want to familiarize, we can make use of this book. The content has been taken from this. I am thankful for the author. Today, we will cover what is a digital image, what is digital image processing, history of digital image processing, state-of-the-art examples of digital image processing, key stages in digital image processing. First, let us focus on what is a digital image. A digital image is a representation of a two-dimensional image as a finite set of digital values called picture elements or pixels. When we have an object should be incident with the light energy through the camera, through the imaging modality. The energy will incident on the object, through which object will be observed with energy and it will be reflected through the imaging modality. It will be captured. Finally, it produces an image in the grid of two dimensions as a matrix f of x comma y, where x represents the rows, number of rows along with size, and y represents number of columns. For example, if the image size is 100 rows into 200 columns, we have 100 rows in x direction and 200 columns in the y direction. So this is the way our digital image is being captured. In every walk of life, we work with images, we live with images, and in the internet age, everybody is handling images comfortably with our mobile camera, and we can take the snapshot of the given image, and we can easily process the image, and we can send the image from one source to destination. All these things are easily possible. Therefore, it is essential to understand what is a digital image all about, and we need to know how the digital image is being stored in our memory, and what are the different types of processing we can go on, what are the different categories of research going on with respect to our image processing. In Paint, we are using the image processing techniques. In Photoshop, we can do all the manipulations. When we take the snapshot of our passport size photograph, it is not clear, we can add on and we can enhance and we can resize. Everything is coming under our image processing. Let us try to understand how the pixel values are represented in our image. Normally, we can say we have a black and white image, grayscale image and color image. In the black and white image, we have set up grid of pixels as a two-dimensional matrix f of x, y, with each pixel must be with 0 value or 1 value, where 0 represents black value, 1 represents white value. Then another type of image, we can store it as a gray level in which we have the different shades, that is 8 shades of black to white will be present. That is, the resolution for the gray level image is 255. For example, 8 bits are available to store the image. Here it starts from 0 to 1 with different shades of colors from black to white. Black, then we have dark grey, light grey, then dark light, white light. Something like this, we have different shades from black to white. It is represented by 8 bits per pixel. If we have the image of size 100 rows into 100 columns, then 8 bits per pixel. Therefore, totally how much we require? 100 into 100 into 8. That is nothing but 80,000 bits are required. 1 byte is equal to 8 bits. So, we can convert how many bytes are required. When we store images, we have the size of the file. It may be of MB or it may be of kilobytes. So, whatever may be, how it is being stored in digital images, we can understand from this. Then another set of image is known as the color image. We have red channel, green channel, blue channel. It is very appealing, and we can identify where is the eye of the deer, and we can see where is the nose of the deer. All these things can be easily analyzed with respect to the pixel in the case of color images. So let us see common image formats available in image processing. One sample per point is called as black and white image, where black represents 0, white represents 1, as I have already mentioned. If you have 100 rows, 100 columns, totally we require only 10,000 bits, binary digits, for storing a black and white image. Then we have grayscale image. For the same 100 rows and 100 columns of the given image, in the grayscale, it goes from black to white shades of resolution 255. The range is from 0 to 255. With that, we can have 100 into 100 into 8 bits. So totally, we require 80,000 bits to store the grayscale image. Then we have color images. With the help of the primary colors, red, green and blue, we can store 3 samples per point in the color image. For the same 100 rows and 100 columns into 24 bits, whereas red represents red channel with 8 bits per pixel, green represents green channel with 8 bits per pixel, and blue channel represents 8 bits per pixel. So totally 8 plus 8 plus 8. For every pixel, we require 24 bits per pixel in the case of color images. Based on this, we can also have effects. We can add on effects to our images, and we can have 3D effects to our images in which we need to represent the given image pixel with 4 samples per point. First one is red channel, green, blue along with alpha. Alpha represents the opacity of the given image. It represents height in which the particular data is coming in. With this, we have understood that common image formats include it can store black and white image, grayscale image, color image, also with uh, 3D effects images. So normally it is easy to work in grayscale images since grayscale image itself will take uh, number of rows into number of columns into 8 bits per pixel. If our image size is 1024 rows and 1024 columns, 1024 rows is 1024 into 1024 is 8. That itself is a very big task. But in the case of video images, when we represent, we have grayscale images. In the grayscale images, we have opacity, all these things are present. So in the case of black and white images, 1024 rows into 1024 columns into 1 bit per pixel. So far we have discussed about what is a digital image, how to store a digital image. Next, we will be focusing on digital image processing. If we take a snapshot of the given image with our mobile camera, while taking it, if it is shaped, then it is called as a, it requires digital image processing. That is, we can adjust the pixels for the improvement of pictorial information for human interpretation. This is the first category of digital image processing. Then second category may be called as processing of image data for storage, transmission and representation. In the birthday party, if we take the snapshot of the birthday party or if we take the video of the data, what we do is we'll transfer the data, we will transfer the birthday party photos from one source to another location to our friends through social media. While doing this, we need to store all the images effectively. Huge information must be transmitted in a short moment. All these things are possible only with respect to our image processing techniques. So, yet another important task available in image processing is nothing but image compression. We have JPEG standard available, RAW format available everywhere. We are evolving with our image processing techniques. Some argument about where image processing ends and fields such as image analysis and computer vision start. It can be categorized into 3 levels. Image processing starts from low-level processing, whereas input is given image. After processing, the output will be image. Example, while taking the snapshot, there is any shake, there will be disturbance. That is, noise is present, unwanted signal is present. That could be removed with the help of image masking using filters or using kernel functions. We may be able to convolve our event in the given image and we may be able to remove the noise. Or we can do sharpening effect or smoothing effect. This is coming under the low level process where given input is image, the output what we receive is also after processing image. Second category is called as mid-level process. Here, the input given is image, the output would be attributes. That is, for example, in the case of object recognition, vehicle monitoring system, when we take vehicles, we wanted to know how many vehicles are moving in the traffic. So here we will be taking number of four-wheelers. So we will be recognizing the objects. So image attributes. Then followed by we will be taking the entire image and we will be taking only one portion of the image that will be called as an attribute, in which we wanted to know only the license plate. That has to be segmented from the given object. So in all these cases, we will be taking region of interest from the given image. The given input is image, Then we will be focusing only on part of the images region of interest. It is called as mid-level processing. Third category is known as high-level process. So now we want to make our system to think. We want to artificially make intelligence of our system only based on set of rules, and we need to give some features or attributes as an input to our system, and we want to make our system to understand and react. In this scenario, our computer vision starts based on that virtual reality, scene understanding, autonomous navigation, driverless cars. All these things are coming under high level process. So far, we have looked at what is a digital image, how to store a digital image, then what are the different types of image processing we have. So we have said that digital image is a finite set of pixels as a two-dimensional function known as f of x, y. Each consists of a pixel which represents the color intensity, opaqueness, details about the contrast. All these things would be present in the given image. How to store the digital images could be told as black and white image, then we can have grayscale image, and we have color images. Then color images with features with effects could also be stored. Then we have been discussed about low level image, mid level image, and high level image. In the low level image, input image, output image. Example, noise removal, enhancement. Then we have second type known as mid-level. In the mid-level, input image, then focus is on region of interest is our output, that is coming under attributes. Based on that, we can work on object recognition coming under the second level. Third level, we will give some attributes as input to the system. Our system will understand. This is coming under high level processing. Autonomous cars, selfless, driverless cars, all these things are coming under computer vision. So we are going to discuss now about history of digital image processing. When any emerging field comes, there is a need for that. Because of the need only, that particular field has emerged and it would have been grown up. Similarly, in image processing, during early 1920s, newspaper industry is in need of digital imaging to transmit from source to destination. Here, in the Barton Cable Picture Transmission Service has been started during 1920s. Images were transferred by submarine cable between London and New York. Pictures were coded for cable transfer and reconstructed at the receiving end on a telegraphic printer. In the mid to late 1920s, improvements have been progressed. Due to that, Borland system resulted in higher quality images. This picture shows improved digital image. This is another picture which shows early 15-tone digital images with the new reproduction processes based on photographic techniques with increased number of tones in reproduced images. During 1960s, improvements in computing technology and the onset of the space race led to a surge of work in digital image processing. This picture shows moon taken by the Ranger 7 probe minutes before landing. In 1964, computers are used to improve the quality of images of the moon taken by the Ranger 7 probe. Such techniques were used in other space missions, including the Apollo landings. Nowadays, in Mangalyaan, everywhere, people are using this type of cameras being embedded with our space, and based on that, it will landed up in Mangalyaan and it has captured some images and it is sending to the Earth station. Based on that, scientists could analyze, is there any water or is there any material, is it comfortable to live in that particular domain. All these things would be possible only with the help of image processing techniques. In 1970, digital image processing begins to be used in medical applications in healthcare industry. During 1979, Sir Godfrey N. Gaunfeld and Professor Alan M. Cormack shared the Nobel Prize in Medicine for the important invention of tomography, the technology behind computerized axial tomographic scans. This is a typical brain head slice of CT image in which we can analyze is there any tumor present or not. Here, in 1980s till today, the use of digital image processing techniques has exploded and they are now used for all kinds of tasks in all kinds of areas, namely image enhancement, restoration, artistic effects, medical visualization, industrial inspection, law enforcement, human-computer interfaces, almost in all walks of life. Let us see about examples in image enhancement. This is one of the most common uses of DAP techniques to improve the quality, remove noise, in which when a human body is tolerable only to the poor radiation, due to that the picture has been captured like this. This input image has been improved by means of applying the filters through which it can improve the pixels and based on that enhance so that our physicist can understand what is the problem in the given image and he can give the solution for the patient. This is yet another application in the electronic circuit board in which after production is it being soldered properly, where the connections are proper, everything could be analyzed with the help of image processing techniques. So the printed circuit board has been taken as a snapshot. Then this is with noise now. This is not clear. So it has been improved with the sharpening effect. We can keep track of only high frequencies, then attenuating low frequencies, through which we may be able to get the enhanced version of the given printed circuit board. This will give a clear detail about whether the circuit board has been designed properly without any error. This is yet another image, aerial image, which has been captured due to poor resolution. It is not clear. After adjusting the contrast values, this picture has been improved pictorially through pixel by pixel wise, through which we may be able to understand is there any building or greeneries, water portion available. This could be easily analyzed with the help of image enhancement using smoothing and sharpening effects. The yet another application in image processing in the telescope. So this is the Hubble telescope launched in 1990, which could take images of very distant objects. However, an incorrect mirror made many of Hubble images useless. To make this Hubble telescope image meaningful, image processing techniques were used and it could be improved and fix this problem. Yet another important image processing applications are highly useful in cinema industry, Hollywood, Bollywood, all places artistic effects are used to make images more visually appealing, to add special effects and to make composite images. When the hero wants to jump from the very highest place, mountain, to the lowest place, it is dangerous. It could be easily captured with the help of CGs and the computer graphics and effects could be added on to make it more realistic. Similarly, young hero could be shown as a old hero ambience could be given as young heroes. All these things are highly possible with respect to providing artistic effects in image processing. So it is highly useful in image processing industry. In healthcare industry, image processing plays a vital role. After making an image from the imaging modality, so the images could be easily analyzed and we can process the image. Based on that, we can understand the types of diffuse material, whether the particular cell is normal or abnormal, could be easily analyzed with the help of image processing techniques. Take slides from MRI scan of canine cord and find boundaries between types of tissues is shown in the following diagrams. This is the original image of a dog heart. Here, the edge direction has been applied and based on the edges have been detected. Image with gray levels representing tissue density. Use a suitable filter or mask or supervisor. Everything is one and the same. To highlight the edges with the help of masking, we may be able to highlight the edges for the given image. So we have yet another important applications in geographic information systems. In digital image processing, to manipulate the satellite industry or to classify the terrains, to meteorology department to analyze is there any disaster available. All these things, hurricane is present or not, or low depression is available. Everything could be easily analyzed with respect to the image processing involved in graphical and geographical information system. Nighttime lights of the world data set could be captured. Global inventory of human settlement. Not hard to imagine the kind of analysis that might be done using the data. Everything is possible with respect to our image processing techniques. In industrial inspections, image processing are highly useful. Human operators are expensive, slow, and unreliable, so we can make machines do the job instead. Industrial vision systems are used in all kinds of industries, in the pharmaceutical companies, in the printing circuit boards, in the filling up the liquids, tissue analysis, microbiological analysis, everywhere we can use industrial inspection. So now the big question is, can we trust them? Provided if the algorithm is good, if the image processing embedded system is performing very well, we can easily depend on it since it is inexpensive, it is faster and reliable. PCB inspection, printed circuit board inspection. In machine inspection, which will determine that all components are present and all soldered joints are acceptable, could be analyzed with the help of PCB inspection, both conventional imaging and X-ray imaging. This is a copier machine. We have the printed circuit boards, which could be easily analyzed with the help of image processing inspection. The next one is law enforcement. Image processing techniques are used extensively by law enforcers in traffic monitoring systems, number plate recognition for speed, cameras, automated toll systems, which are highly helpful to understand is there any violators to cross the road faster speed, and also in order to avoid the accidents, image processing techniques could be highly useful. Similarly, in biometric applications, in fingerprint recognition, criminal detection, we can easily use image processing techniques. Then enhancement of CCTV images, we can easily analyze is there any abnormality. All these things could be easily done with respect to image processing techniques. In human computer interaction, try to make computer human interfaces more natural. Face recognition, gesture recognition, whether hand is shaking or smiling, all these things could be easily analyzed with the help of human computer interaction systems. Does anyone remember the user interface from Minority Report? It has got a high impact on it. This task can be extremely difficult but with the help of the image processing techniques, vision systems, we may be able to make it. Let us see a demo of image processing basic counting. Please watch this. See how image processing techniques are highly useful in this video. So we have two lanes. So each lane is having a sensor which is shown in the blue color. So when there is a vehicle which is crossing, it keeps counting. So now you can see in the second lane which is shown as 5. So in the first lane it is shown as 3. So at present 3 plus 7 in both lanes, it is coming 2 or 11, 12 and so on. And also the 1038, it keeps on incrementing. That shows the number of seconds where it crosses. You can see here the camera is being loaded here and it captures through the sensor. It stores all the details about the vehicle. Based on that, if anything wants to be analyzed, it should be analyzed easily. So this is one of the image processing basic counting applications using OpenCV. We have MATLAB software with us. OpenCV is available. Then we have image processing using Java itself. We can do it. Python. These are the various tools available. We can easily prepare the algorithm and we can write the coding and we can understand and we can process our application easily with respect to performance analysis. So after writing the algorithm, we can do the performance analysis and we can analyze how far our system is accurate. We can also embed our deep learning techniques to automatically detect if human intervention is not at all required. All this is possible in our image processing techniques. So this particular video shows keep counting the number of vehicles crossed during that sensor and it stores all the information. It's not only taking only 4 meters. When any vehicle is moving, it just keeps counting of it and stores the entire information about the license plate, and for any analysis it could be followed. During this COVID-19, when police department is watching, they can keep on cameras and they can capture the videos and they can analyze who are all not abide the rules and which cars are moving unnecessarily. All these things could be easily analyzed automatically with the help of this image processing applications. So with this we have just seen a demo of how it works, right? So next we are going to discuss about the key stages in digital image processing. So far we have been focused on what is a digital image, how to represent a digital image, what do you mean by digital image processing, what are the applications of digital image processing in our day-to-day life. So now we are going to focus on the various key stages in digital image processing. Normally, we need to choose in which domain we are going to work. If you want to work on vehicle monitoring system, we need first problem domain, we need to acquire the image, then if you want you can pre-process the image, after which you have to go to the segmentation step and then we want to linearize the object. These techniques are required. It is not necessary to work with all stages. Whatever the stage which we require, that could be easily combined and we can prepare an algorithm and we can work on it. So the problem domain, then we need to acquire the image for the given problem domain. So as we have already discussed, when we want to capture an image, we need light energy through the imaging modality. That light is incident on the object, it will be reflected. Based on that, it will prepare the f of x comma y with a grid of pixels with f of x comma y as a function. That is the first step. Second step, when we capture an image, due to some disturbance, if the picture is not clear, it can be enhanced. So here, this is a low contrast image. This could be converted into high contrast image by means of histogram processing, or we can adjust the histogram equalization through which we may be able to improve, or we can use image enhancement in spatial domain based on low pass filter or high pass filter. Low pass filter is highly useful to smoothen the given image. High pass filters are highly useful to sharpen the image. In the low pass filters, we retain only low pass frequencies and we attenuate, eliminate, that is, eliminate all high frequencies. The blurring effect will be there in smoothing. For that, we can use the mean filter, median filter. Filter is a mask. It may be of size 3 by 3 size or 5 by 5 or 7 by 7, which will be convolved around the given image from 0, 0 to m minus 1, n minus 1 rows, and it has to process it mathematically through the convolution process. What is convolution? Convolution is nothing but sum of products of the given mask and the given image pixels, through which we may be able to process it and we can perform this type of enhancement in spatial domain. In the high frequency filters, we may be able to apply first order differentiation or second order differentiation, maybe gradient or Laplacian operations to improve the sharpening effect. So for that, we have lot of filters available through which we may be able to apply, and we can edge deductions. All these things could be done easily with respect to image enhancement. Then we have one more classification in image enhancement. It is known as frequency domain image processing, image enhancement. In the frequency domain, we will read an image, we will convert the image into some mathematical formula we apply, and we will convert the given image into another domain. That is called as a transformation. Example transformation may be discrete Wendler transformation or discrete cosine transformation or Laplace transformation. We can easily convert from one set of pixels, apply the mathematical function property and convert it into another domain and work on the domain easily, and then come back to the inverse transformation, then show the results. This could be easily done in image enhancement in the frequency domain. Normally, discrete Fourier transformation is highly useful. That will segregate the low frequencies and high frequencies comfortably in the frequency domain, and we can do some processing. We can apply some transformations. Based on that, we may be able to map the narrow range to narrow range to bigger range, or bigger range to narrow range. We can do some transformations, and we can come back to the inverse DFT, and we can perform the enhancement. Then third stage is called as image restoration. This is an extension of image enhancement in which mathematical model is applied. For example, Gaussian model. So some model will be applied. Then based on that, we can interpolate some data which is missing while taking archaeology department. When we have some theory or RIC, people have done some simple data. They would have got some images. That images may not be clear. For that, they can add on some mathematical modeling. Then after that, they can apply some low filters or low pass filters, high pass filters to improve the image. Or some missing portion, decayed portion will be there. That could be replaced with interpolation techniques through which we can analyze our images. This is coming under image restoration. Then another one, morphological processing. In the morphological processing, there are two techniques available. One is dilation, another one is called as erosion. So what is dilation? This is coming under restoration model, right? So we have one input. That input could be improved by means of adding some mathematical modeling, and performance metrics could be analyzed. In the case of morphological processing, when fingerprint is there, if we want to improve the size of the ridges in the fingerprint, we can apply the dilation. So dilation will enhance and thicken the given ridges in the fingerprint. Further structuring element is required. Structuring element could be used as 3 by 3 or 5 by 5 or circular fashion, or we can use it with rectangular fashion or square fashion. We may able to apply, and we will make the picture pixels into a bigger way. That is called as dilation. The opposite effect is known as erosion, in which the particular image thickening will be reduced to thin one. So that way also we can apply this picturing element, we can get the details. In criminology department, in police department, crime people must be using all these techniques to analyze the culprits, and they can add on some features and they can see if the culprit is in different posters, how it would be. All these things are highly useful in criminology department. Then similarly, we have another application known as another stage in image processing is segmentation. So this picture, we want to know only this portion of the images. Two portions are available. So we wanted to segregate region of interest. This X part, this cross part alone, we wanted to extract it. We can use thresholding. What is meant by thresholding? Thresholding is nothing but the region of interest with the pixel values. If the pixel value is greater than 180, make it 1. Always make it 0. Such a way, we can apply some thresholding through which we can identify the region of interest. The region of interest is nothing but the portion of the image which is extracted from the entire image. The background all will be the same size and the same pixel values. That would be ignored in the case of segmentation. So here we can use thresholding. There are different types of thresholdings are available. One is global thresholding, another one is local thresholding. As the name implies, global thresholding, the same threshold will be used for the entire image. Local means we can divide the image into regions, and every sub-region we can apply one thresholding, and whatever the data which we want, we can extract it. That is coming under local thresholding. Then we have adaptive thresholding. All these things, whatever we require, we can use that mathematical formula and we can apply it and we can segment the region of interest from the given image. The next application is object recognition. So when we want to see in defense application, is there any movement of objects? Using thermal camera, it is possible to identify is there any movement of objects. Instead of going in direct, the human being may not go there, and we can easily apply the laser camera and we can understand is there any object moving or not. This is coming under object recognition. For that, we can write some algorithms, and based on that, we can work and we can easily predict certain applications usefully. The next one is representation and description. So this is coming under object recognition. That is, when we take the iris data, what are the different types of data we have? That could be easily analyzed and graphed. Basically, we can have the clustering techniques, classifications. For this, we may be able to make use of this object recognition. Example here in this. Then followed by, we have representation and description. In the representation and description, when we want to make use of the cartoons, or when we want to make a cartoon to move, we need some shapes. When we want to represent the graphical dimensions and geometrical coordinates, for this we need to apply the separate portion of the coordinates. All these things could be easily analyzed with the help of representation and description. Then another interesting application is image compression. So now we now take this video and we are just getting it based on our techniques. So the image video size is bigger. It should transfer from source to destination. So everybody is watching this. So while doing this, we require the compression. So normally people are using zip, RAR format, or paper format is available in the case of images, and in the case of videos we have a PVC standard. All these things are possible only with respect to compression model. What is meant by compression? So we have redundancy in the given data, that is repeated data is present in the given image, that could be analyzed, and based on the repeated things it could be eliminated through different techniques based on encoding mechanisms. Then we can reduce the space of the given image, after which we can transmit the given image. Then we have to do the decoding, and after decoding this will be reconstructed. Then original file size will be compared to the reconstructed file size. So reconstructed file size divided by original file size is nothing but our compression ratio. If we reduce the size of the given image, and if you are able to successfully transmit it without any uh, image degradation, then this process is known as image compression. Here there are two types of image compression available. First one is lossy compression, another one is lossless compression. Lossy means some permissible loss is allowed. 10% or 5% of the given data may be lost due to reproduction of the given image after compression is admissible. This is coming under the lossy compression. The another category is known as lossless image compression. For example, in the medical domain, while doing the analysis, it is not possible to lose any data for accuracy purposes. Therefore, that type of compression will come under image compression. So we have some performance metrics available, PSNR and bit rates. All these things are highly useful to analyze our results. Then yet another important application in our image processing is nothing but color image processing. When we take the color images, when we take some medical images, it may be looking like this. After adding some pseudo colors, that is, we can use the intensity slicing based on the coding. We may be able to put planes over the images. Then above the plane encode with one color, below the plane encode with another color, and apply some false colors to the given image. Then we can analyze the tissues clearly, or then we can understand the texture of the given image easily. For this, we can also apply color image processing. So we have different models available: RGB model, HSI model, and CMY model. In the RGB model, red, green, blue format, this is an additive color model. Then we have subtractive color model, it is known as CMY model, cyan, magenta, yellow model. Then we have IAQ model, the video processing. Then followed by we have uh, fault color processing could be used. So segmentation, then enhancement, everything is possible with respect to color image processing. It is quite tough to work with color image processing because we have to handle a large volume of data. Since every pixel will be encoded with red channel, green channel, blue channel separately. For that, we require 24 bits per pixel. Therefore, this can be transformed into a design model, and we can Q represents the color part, intensity, brightness. Based on that, we may be able to represent the color in different format. Then we can transform from RGB to HSI. Then from HSI to RGB we can come back, and we can work on HSI, and we can do the manipulation and processing, after which you can come back. So color image processing is highly useful. Certain applications we have to work on color model, therefore we have to work on color image processing techniques. So with this, these are the available key stages in image processing. We have rightly understood that from the problem domain we need to acquire the image, through which if we want we can do the pre-processing. Then another type of application is coming under the enhancement, in which we have seen about spatial domain and frequency domain. Then another extension of the image enhancement is nothing but image restoration, which in which mathematical model is added, and through which people will do some low pass filtering or high pass filtering, depends on the requirement. Then morphological processing based on dilation and erosion, we can do some work on it. Then another part is segmentation, region of interest extraction, and identifying the cell is malignant or normal. This could be done with respect to segmentation in medical field. Then object recognition, vehicle monitoring system, or in defense, if you want to know the objects or movement of objects could be analyzed. Then representation and description for graphics model we may be able to use. Then if you want to use robotics, if you want to represent the object from one location to another location, description, then industry must use these techniques. The image compression in the age of internet, when we want to transfer the image from one location to another location, and when we want to take the videos and easily transform in our social media, everywhere we need a comfortable format to store and transmit. For that we require different algorithms and image compression. Then we can do research on color image processing in order to improve the tissues in the images, or we want to extract few part of the given image or saturation part, intensity part. All these things easily could be done in the color image processing, also in digital image processing. So far we have been discussed about what is a digital image, how to represent a digital image, how to store a digital image, what are the three different types of image processing we have. Then we have discussed about the examples, applications in day-to-day life, how are we processing with our image processing. We have lot of softwares available to encode our system, to code our algorithms, through which we may able to do lot of wonders with respect to playing with our two-dimensional matrices in the case of images. In the case of video, we have frames. Each frame consists of number of images through which we can work on 3D image processing. We have 3D dataset available through which we can also work on 3D image processing nowadays. Let me show you two more videos which will help you to understand how our image processing works out for identifying, maintaining the high-speed frames, and also object recognition in based on the thermal camera, how to identify the motions of the various objects in the borders. All these things could be easily analyzed with respect to our image processing techniques. Please watch the following two videos to understand how image processing is applied in our real-time world. So far we have been looked at what is a digital image processing, history of digital image processing, state-of-the-art examples of digital image processing, key stages in digital image processing. I think everyone would have understood all these concepts. Hereafter we can work on your area of interest in image processing with your algorithms comfortably. If you have any queries, you can contact me at any time. Please watch this video to understand industrial image processing. This is a high-speed train. To maintain this train, automatically image processing can work.
I'm holding a piece of advanced technology in my hand. Technological systems and developments, such as this high-speed train, requires daily maintenance to ensure that they live up to the strictest safety requirements. Maintenance is usually performed in regular intervals and by specifically trained personnel to ensure a long service life and to keep component wear and tear to a minimum. Visual inspections are carried out by qualified employees, but people make mistakes. PSI Technics offers sophisticated and fully customizable camera solutions that complement or simply replace visual and manual tests and inspections. Camera-based solutions drastically reduce the time and cost associated with quality control and inspection tasks. Manual and visual inspection tasks include measuring length, width and height, area, volume, size, object count, determining the physical presence and the position of components,
determining the physical presence of the
monitoring for correct assembly form or potential surface defects, identifying text and icons, codes and patterns. Depending on the requirements, a variety of inspection methods can be used. For example, shape matching, texture segmentation, light section methods, or 3D depth sensing cameras for 3D point clouds. Camera-based solutions help optimize maintenance and increase work process safety. In addition, they significantly improve the quality of productivity of tests and inspection processes. PSI Technics offers easy-to-use, application-specific camera solutions that are designed for the continuous monitoring and quality control of production processes. Nearly all monitoring and measurement tasks can be automated by means of industrial image processing technology. For example, powerful 2D and 3D cameras or smart cameras identify defective objects or products in production lines during the early stage of the manufacturing process. This leads to enhanced processes and greater efficiency. The camera systems are suitable for all industries and have proven reliable in harsh industrial environments. As an experienced system integrator, PSI Technics has installed a variety of camera
Automobile
solutions
technology also
that
being
provide
integral
efficient and continuous
to
quality
automobile
control
parts,
in manufacturing.
virtual reality
Our
manufacturing.
customers place particular emphasis on safety and reliability. Our camera solutions perform tasks that humans can no longer achieve with reasonable effort and cost, and identify defects that are not visible to the human eye. As engineers, we need to look beyond technology to provide solutions that increase the safety and reliability in our customer facilities and gives them peace of mind. PSI Technics offers technical solutions with the safety and productivity of people in mind. This is our greatest motivation.
So we will see how the technology works in image processing. We'll see another video. Which will help us to understand how thermal image processing works for security in military for the object resolution. Based on the temperature of the object, it can analyze and senses is there any moving object in the site. This could be easily followed in the industry, in defense, to understand is there any human being in the wall, specifically in the borders. Military people can understand. Without human intervention, through the laser camera, it is possible to recognize is there any moving objects or a human being is present in the borders. This is another application in image processing for security purposes. So thermal camera is being identified based on the temperature of the foreign body, and through which it can recognize and it can notify to the system. Similarly, it could be extended to any security purposes. This type of applications could be used. Unauthorized entry, all these things need to be monitored with respect to this type of applications in image processing. So there is an object, the red window shows after an object is being captured, through which they can understand. So with this, we have seen what is a digital image and how to represent a digital image, then how to show the digital image. So let us see the next slide. And if you have any doubts, you can ask me. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. And clarifications, I think you can discuss with me. Here is another picture which shows thank you followed by an image. So Abdul Kalam ji said, learning gives creativity, creativity leads to thinking, thinking provides knowledge, knowledge makes you great. So every time we need to think, first learn, then create, cultivate the creativity, thinking and knowledge. This will become the most important thing in our academician's life, and we need to do lot of research based on this. At the outset, I thank all the participants for having listened to this webinar for the past 1.5 hours time to learn about the digital image processing. I hope this particular webinar will help you to start your work based on image processing, and it can lead to computer vision and 3D image processing techniques. I am happy to close the session now, and if you have any doubts, I will come back to you. You can post your doubts and you can clarify your doubts online. Thank you so much for your listening.